Apakah Demon Slayer untuk episod 17. Para panelis kita malam ini terdiri daripada saya, Nadzru Iskandar daripada BuzzPOP TV. Kaki Manga kita Ariff. What's up bro? How you doing man?
What's up? Evening.
Ayo. Serta kaki buku kita Jamal Raslan.
So, aku tak tahu kenapa aku tunjuk Skittles.
Kata biskut.
By the way, sila lihat t-shirt aku yang best ni. Kalau korang kenal siapa.
Apa?
Wah.
Ui, gila lah. One Piece.
Dia bukan red leg. How did it become black leg? It progress further
Black Leg masa awal.
Oh.
That was the reputation that he had before and when he joined the Straw Hat Parents. Red Leg is after dia dah develop dia punya ni, dia dah tahu dia punya ni, lepas tu baru dia develop yang dia sepak ke api sampai ke space tu.
Dan terakhir sekali adalah kaki anime kita Shazli American. What's up bro?
Hello. Mata aku biol tengok episod ni.
Gila babi bro, gila babi.
Yeah.
Alright, dengan itu kita bakal memulakan perbincangan malam ini dengan reaksi satu ayat. Alright, reaksi satu ayat aku untuk episod Demon Slayer minggu lepas adalah what the fuck? It's like aku dah lama tak tonton anime. I've only come back about 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago, and I have to say epic gila babi tu. It's like judul episod minggu lepas adalah I Will Never Give Up, which pada pendapat aku is the best Demon Slayer episode yet. Jadi apakah reaksi satu ayat anda kepada episod Demon Slayer minggu lepas? Silakan Shaz.
It's like watching a movie lah. This one episode, the amount of animation quality they put inside kan, with all the colours and all of dia punya individual drawing, sebab dia bukan just like big patches of colour tau. Dia macam you have a lot of lines coming out and there's a lot of motions moving around, macam like oh, this is a movie ke episode ni kan?
Definitely man, definitely. Macam Kudo cakap goodbye season 1 episode 19, say hello to season 2 episode 17 yang lebih epic. Silakan Ariff, apakah reaksi satu ayat kau?
Akhirnya akhirnya sampai juga kat sini. Dia jadi dia rasa penat dia tau. Macam kau bukan yang lawan, tapi kau rasa macam okay, it's the end. Oh, it's the end. Oh, potong dah sudah. Oh, akhirnya.
Okay,
It's
Jamal?
been a journey
Sebagai seorang kaki manga juga, silakan Jamal.
Reaksi aku, Ariff, kau dah tengok belum episod terbaru Diorang belanja you pun tengok belanja. Shazli, tengok sekarang. Itu reaksi satu ayat.
Pura-pura tak baca sebab tengah kerja kan. Macam
Pukul 1:30 pagi ke tu.
Pagi, 3
Orang
malam
dah
lepas sebelum aku demam.
dah shutdown nak masuk, nak tidur untuk kerja tau. Dinding lah apa benda ni kan lewat. Ini.
Betul. And how does this compare to the manga?
Nanti aku tunjuk. Tak, sebab for me, aku tengok anime ni because Ariff member aku Umar lagi seorang tu, Umar sudah tengok. So both of them shared the same clip, which was season 1 episode 19, dia lawan spider punya ending scene tu tau. Yeah. So I knew what I was getting into from animation perspective. Lepas aku habis tengok season 1 katam tu, baru aku baca manga. And then I came on board to Mugen and ni lah. So masa aku baca manga tu, aku skip the first season sebab Ariff kata, okay, kau start daripada sini, okay lah. Aku macam malas, aku start je lah daripada right after season 1 ended. So when I discover, when kau tengok, because this is exactly like Haikyuu, Haikyuu, Yowamushi Pedals semua ni, where the studios, the creators are very selective of the studios yang diorang nak bagi the job for adapting the manga. So banyak different studios, and then even if it's the same studio, they will get different animators. So they got it spot on sebab dia lukis, they brought the manga pages alive. And then for this particular episode, sebab nanti bila aku tunjuk apa beza manga Gyotaro lawan Uzui dengan anime, korang akan faham kenapa aku hype gila babi. Sebab if anyone felt up to this point, okay lah, Rengoku lagi best daripada Uzui lah. Yes, it is still the same. Tapi kalau kau baca manga, kau tak akan dapat rasa macam tu. In fact, kau akan rasa, alah, takkan dia lawan Uzui lepas dia lawan Rengoku. Patut dia lawan Rengoku lah lepas dia lawan Uzui. Kalau macam ni je Uzui. So while it did not bring Uzui above Rengoku, but the benda yang UFO table tambah tu during their final fight scene tu memang damn banyak. Dia tambah tu, it's at least 5 to 7 pages extra from the manga yang tak ada. So I was really happy for that. I was really happy for that.
Ni aku nak respond, ada satu komen menarik daripada Xavier Satsu tadi. You briefly flash it.
Sekejap Xavier Satsu ada cakap banyak ni.
Lebih kurang itulah. Okay. There was an interesting point. Then when I fikir balik about the actual fight semua ni kan, I agree that at that point of time dia orang dah lemah because of their own injuries and their own wounds. So to me it feels like it wasn't so much a showcase of dia punya technique, it was more a showcase of their passion. So that's why the colours was very bright. Dia punya the attacks was over exaggerated. I think it was trying to show that aku dah nak mati dah ni tau, tangan aku dah putus ni tau. But even to that level pun like, aku satu tangan pun satu kelawan satu tangan je lah. So the technique, yes, I agree that the fight dari segi teknik kurang, but from the emotion side definitely was higher than Rengoku punya fight. Because Rengoku punya fight when he fought at the end of Mugen Train tu was very technical, very good, you know. Tapi dia punya passion, dia punya hangin tu wasn't as clearly shown sebab dia dah fire, so the fire was already well represented. So to show how the Hashira of sound ni, how dia punya technique and everything show, dia kena tunjuk banyak lines lah to show that, you know, udara bergetar and everything. So when you add colour to it somehow, dia punya the passion shows through. So I both agree and disagree on that point, but it's a very good ni lah komen lah. Aku suka komen tu.
Dan kalau consider yang waktu Rengoku punya fight tu, it's just one on one, and boleh kata it's a shorter fight lah compared to this one. This one you feel it drag. People say like macam Ariff complain dia punya dragging apa semua kan. But this is sort of like dia punya payoff. Macam kau dah akhirnya putus juga kepala dua ekor ni.
Akhirnya. Yeah man.
Yeah.
Betul.
And then another thing is that you have to kalau kau ambil in a vacuum, then no comments lah. Kalau kau suka tak suka and all that. Tapi if you take it in the context of the whole manga, generally speaking, semua final fights with the demons upper rank until they die is pretty okay. Meaning semua sesuai. So kalau kau dapat lawan Akaza, the way Rengoku died, the fight was not about Akaza as it is about Rengoku. Sebab Rengoku kena mati kat situ. Because dia lawan an upper demon yang belum jadi upper demon lagi time tu, dia only jadi upper demon lepas tu. So it showed how much Rengoku had to suffer and eventually die to kill one demon but died against another demon yang macam okay, now I'm gonna take my place in the upper rank. So and Akaza, like Rengoku dan Tengen kalau gabung pun takkan boleh lawan Akaza. This is, kalau kau baca manga, that is the case. Because Akaza is just too strong. So if you look at all the other demons upper rank, the way they died, kalau kau rasa macam fighting scene ni macam ni, this particular one, tambah yang UFO table belajar tu tak cukup epic, I guess it's okay. Sebab aku tak ada opinion. Sebab bila aku tengok against the other demons, memang they are the one who deserve more epic final fight scenes. Sebab kalau kau dah bagi Daki lawan Gyotaro epic, tapi diorang punya
tak ada build up
hanyalah tak ada build up tu, because their arc is just entertainment district. That's it. There is no bigger indication of where this is going to go. They did not discover a huge plot, or they did not discover a huge information about Uzui in this plot. Yang plot ni is just nak move on the Three Stooges punya arc, nak introduce Uzui dan nak take out one upper demon. But the next arc onwards, semua arc lead up to an important revelation by the end of the arc. So those arcs, dia punya fight scenes lagi epic. Like this kalau immediate arc after this, memang aku tak tahu nak cakap apa lah. Kalau dia dah boleh belanja kita macam ni, then lepas ni aku tak tahu nak cakap apa.
Kalau siapa yang tengok Naruto Shippuden, this kalau nak kasih equivalent would be macam intro to Shippuden, which is Suna punya arc, and lawan Sasori. This is it. Basically you introduce betul-betul like Akatsuki. Now this is like you betul-betul introduce the upper rank punya style lah. Yeah.
Kudo, Akaza dah number 3 ke? Because
Dah.
they had a meeting after this arc one.
Yeah,
Masa
dia dah
meeting tu baru dia gaduh. Dia cakap position dia kat mana.
But I thought his eye was really number 3 when I fought Rengoku.
At that
The
point.
I was number 3. The meeting yang the
Oh no, the meeting was about the next steps. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
The meeting was about the next steps. Where do you want to go after that? And they were, because Muzan dah bising-bising, korang ni apa demon tapi tak boleh pakai. Dah 2 mati, 3 mati actually campur Mugen Train. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, so aku rasa it's not that lah. And Akaza memang terlampau kuat. So if you don't feel this is epic, it's fine. Aku tak ada kepentingan nak bagi Uzui an epic fight scene at the end.
Okay.
No, to give Gyotaro and Daki an epic fight scene.
Alright. Okay, untuk beberapa komen 6 of July Gang, Xavier Satsul dan juga Abdul Lahir, aku akan bacakan komen-komen korang dalam segmen yang appropriate nanti. Dengan itu berakhirlah segmen ini dan kita bakal membincangkan 3 plot menarik daripada episod Demon Slayer minggu lepas. Alright, jadi segmen pertama kita adalah tentang siblings Mirror Destiny, di mana Gyotaro bermain-main dengan Tanjiro yang diambang kematian. Jadi dalam segmen ini kita ada 3 soalan. Soalan pertama adalah untuk Jamal, seorang manga reader. Pada pengetahuan anda, mengapakah Gyotaro bermain-main dengan Tanjiro sedangkan kawan-kawannya was already presumed dead? Adakah ini sekadar plot armor ataupun lazy writing? Silakan.
Kalau kau tanya aku, it's a trope dalam banyak-banyak manga, even tak kisah manga ke anime ke, cerita orang baik lawan orang jahat ke. Hello, salam alaikum. Is this common where you feel that you have won and then you start to bagi hubris lah, je lah. I don't have any other excuses. That being said, comparing the way Gyotaro, the moment Gyotaro buat macam tu versus all the other demons, if I'm not mistaken, Gyotaro is the only one of the 2 or 3 demons yang buat macam tu. The other demons dia tak buat macam tu. The other demons dia akan buat sepanjang-panjang dia lawan, lepas tu at the end macam, alamak shit, aku tak bajet, aku kalah, damn it, aku mati. 2 other demons macam dia tak ada masa nak bagi hubris. Dia kata aku nak lawan kau, aku nak bunuh kau. Another demon kata, oh finally kau datang, kau yang tak reti nak main pedang, kau nak lawan aku, bla 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 bla. So tak ada, dia punya hubris semua lain-lain. So tak banyak demon yang aku perasan bila dah hujung-hujung ni dia dah agak-agak dia rasa macam dia nak menang and then dia layan Tanjiro macam ni lah. So I don't think it's plot armor because there's nothing to protect or to reveal about the plot pun. There is nothing further to add to it. Dia tak bagi tahu benda something about Muzan ataupun Tanjiro tak reveal something. So it was not plot armor lah. I think it's just hubris biasa je, which is pretty consistent dengan Gyotaro punya karakter, because nanti bila kau tengok episod lagi 1, dia punya ending, Gyotaro akan menunjukkan kenapa dia ada disdain kepada orang-orang yang orang-orang yang macam Tanjiro atau orang-orang in general, terutamanya orang-orang yang dekat dalam entertainment district. He will show you, they will reveal the disdain that he has for these people, for how they treated him and his younger sister and their family in totality, and then by extension orang-orang yang macam diorang dekat entertainment district. Because kat entertainment district tu, people like Gyotaro and Daki were born at a section of the entertainment district that was much poorer than the rest. So
it felt very much like a mustache twirling punya.
Yeah. It was, I mean, like for Gyotaro, aku rasa Gyotaro, that is his demonic, that is how his character as a demon is lah. Sebab kalau kau tengok karakter yang dekat dalam Mugen Train, karakter dia punya mustache twirling moment was when they do busy explain, oh my train can make you dream and then I will kill you in my dream. Akaza dia tak ada, dia punya mustache twirling moment adalah macam Masa
Dia
telur
punya
momen dia
excite-
banyak sebenarnya.
Waktu dia excited waktu lawan tu. That's
Masa lawan tu,
that's
itu
his-
dia punya masa telur momen lah. Dia kata macam ni. So there are many different ni. So for Gyutaro is just like that lah. Aku
Okay.
that lah.
Soalan bonus, adakah semua demon nak enlist worthy opponents? Same thing
Yes.
macam Akaza buat kepada Rengoku, same thing juga Gyutaro macam
Aku-
lah.
Aku
akan
tak
tukar
tahu
kau jadi
Ariff.
demon. Yeah.
Do you think so?
Yeah,
Sebab aku
dia-
rasa demon yang diorang akan jumpa lepas ni, that is not the case. They were there, the two demons were there specifically for the mission. Dan diorang tak nak cari worthy. Diorang macam, this is my standard as a demon, this is my aesthetic as a demon tu je. Yang the immediate arc after this.
I think dia more macam nak please Muzan. Macam Muzan aku berjaya dapat recruit. Dia macam kalau kau in corporate world lah, kau dapat recruit kan, kau akan dapat extra stuff kan. So aku kasih banyak corporate punya parallel. Saya dalam cerita ni macam pelik gila. Anyway,
No
so
comments, no comment.
tak apa 7 bulan lagi.
I mean,
Dia just nampak worthy opponent, and Muzan kan always looking for new blood literally, and new opportunities to boost up the demon punya ranking. And so dia dah tengok orang-orang ni memang kuat, memang these are good people. And notice how dia selalu recruit from demon slayers, so maybe there is an advantage to that.
I did
Maybe,
not know that.
maybe.
I did not know.
do you think he always recruits from the demon slayer? I don't think so. Aku rasa macam
Not always, tapi macam notice how the upper rank
Actually-
demons macam worthy opponent punya style lah.
aku rasa okay, I think how I'm taking your remark is basically if the demons satu manage to defeat a demon slayer, Muzan would be more pleased with them. If they manage to eat a demon slayer, that's even better. But if they manage to convert a demon slayer into a demon, apatah lagi eventually jadi upper rank demon, that is like ni lah. So in that sense, yeah.
Wow. Ni
Aku
macam spoiler.
nak sambung point ni.
Aku macam tak nak tanya. Silakan.
Syabil mentioned something tadi. Just the previously one. So this one was something which aku memang consider was thinking through masa Gyutaro was bragging, kau iso kesian budak ni, that kind of thing. So aku rasa that could have been a long time ago punya trauma masa dia dengan adik dia were very weak. So it could have been a part of his core personality yang tak hilang when he become demon. So bila dia nampak budak macam ni, dia macam kau senario sama, kesiannya budak lemah, kesiannya. So that could have been him mirroring him how he was being treated back then without him realizing it. Sebab dia dah jadi a demon, so to him dia punya sense of what is good and what is not dah berubah. So despite having the sister, mindset dia sekarang ni dah jadi different. And this is actually aku tak tahu nak katakan trope ke tak lah, but generally kalau orang dah dapat kuasa tapi tak tahu nak handle kuasa tu, dia akan ada momen macam ni lah. Aku serang kau dengan dua, lepas tu lost track, lepas tiba-tiba kalah at the end sebab kau miscalculate. Macam tu lah. That's what happened lah.
I can tell, macam aku cakap tadi, without giving spoiler, I can confirm whatever Shaz said. Without spoiling it further, I will confirm whatever Shaz said.
Apa dia cakap? Aku tak dengar. Anyway. Soalan seterusnya. Apa nanti
One thing
aku
I like-
play kat YouTube.
One thing I like about this episode is the fact that sebelum ni aku tak pernah ambil tahu bila dia adapt from manga to anime, dia potong dekat mana, meaning they end the anime episode where exactly do they choose to end the anime episode. Usually you will try to end it where the manga ends for many practical reasons lah. Satu, kau dah habis a full issue, itu satu. Dua, kau tak lari daripada the pacing that was set by the source material. And then tiga, it's easier to manage that way. Tapi for this last episode and this episode, last episode ended in page 6 of episode 92 of the manga. So the manga ada 205 issue. Last episode yang kita tengok gambar Uzui terbaring, tangan dah kena potong tu, that was page 6 out of issue number 92. So that was why aku particularly suka. It's because if you were to read the manga, the moment kau sampai kat panel, alamak Uzi punya tangan patah, kau terus sambung. Kena potong, kau terus sambung. So the end of the issue is actually something else. Tapi if you watch the anime, it ended on Uzui punya tangan patah, kena potong. And then kau macam, fuck. Which makes so much better sense in a more video ataupun visual medium like an anime, because it's cliffhanger, because you cannot control the audience punya reading pace tau. Kalau manga, audience boleh nak baca laju ke, dia nak baca slow, dia nak repeat. Kalau anime memang dia kena tunggulah animation tu habis kan. So they ended it there, and then they picked up this episode from page 7 onwards sampai I think sampai to the middle of the next issue. So it's a very nice way of cutting and taking the story, because they understand the source material enough to know that bila kita adapt, okay, ni kena masuk satu episod, tapi ni adalah setengah episod ni dan setengah episod ni. So they pandai buat macam tu. Jadi bila that is when they, after all that, baru they decide, okay, mana kita nak tambah filler, because we got 3 minutes extra, we got 5 minutes extra. So then the filler is not about them trying too hard to stick to the issue to the source material and so on lah. Sebab tu last week dia punya filler kat depan tu ada sekejap, because they needed that to pad up so that they can end on Uzi punya tangan kena potong. So which is very very nicely done lah. So episode ni pula, kalau dia ada filler pun, dia belanja kita dengan the extended fight scene between Gyotaro dengan Uzui. Sebab benda tu memang tak ada dalam manga.
But it is a sign of how good UFO table is, that as anime watcher only, kau tak perasan pun benda tu is filler. The scene of Uzui and the wives at the grave, to me actually felt it was important, because it was one of the few flashbacks of dia punya interactions dengan dia punya wives. So macam like, okay, what's going to happen now? Just 2-3 minit je kan. And then was like, got interaction. And like, apa nak bunga. Oh my god,
Kita tak boleh tahan tu.
bila ni orang ada 3 bini. Oh my god.
Tak ada bro. Dia tak tunjuk the headache of having 3 bini. Okay bro, dia tak tunjuk. That's extra filler. Ada. Okay, so bercerita tentang filler, kita ada soalan untuk panelis yang membaca manga. Adakah final episode nanti ada scene upper moon meeting? Apa pendapat korang, Ariff dan Jamal?
I hope they will give you that.
It will be a good ending lah kalau dia ada. I mean, it will be appropriate lah. Sebab it is the closing of the arc kan. So kalau dia tak buat tu, I'll be skeptical. Sebab you want to build the hype. You dah ada hype ni with the first upper demon mati. If they habiskan at that particular scene, they'll be the best lah. Even kalau nak draw parallel, based on apa yang dia cakap, ada meeting kan. Last season habis with the meeting juga. So should be good.
Yang semua lower rank kena bunuh tu. That was the meeting.
Yes.
Okay.
Dia kena ada meeting sebab kalau dia terbuat ending tu, because after all this, I think the next episode, the first 5 minutes dia akan habiskan whatever that is left of Gyotaro dengan Kaki. Then there will be another 5 minutes where dia bagi the reflection atau the look back cerita sedih Kaki dengan Gyotaro. So you should have about 10 to 15 minutes, 10 minutes left roughly. You have about 10 minutes left. So the 10 minutes is enough to not just show the meeting, but it's enough to show what happens after this fight. Meaning dia orang punya recovery semua bla 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 bla.
Jangan lupa episode minggu depan 45 minit.
Then confirm dia akan ada meeting, confirm dia akan ada scene yang dia orang dah recover, lepas tu dia bangun daripada recovery to lead into the next arc.
I think this one they end in, this episode dia habis dalam chapter 94, 95. So 45 minutes nak cover like 4 to 5 chapters. Memang plenty lah. With more elaboration. And UFO Table has the reputation of doing it justice, even with the filler. So tak sabar lah nak tengok.
It has to finish at 94 pada aku lah. It has to finish at 94 because it has to finish. No, cannot. It has to finish at, the season has to finish at around 97.
What? What? 97
Oh
bukan
ya,
dah
no, dia akan
finish
dia
up?
akan cover. Tak, dia 97 is still the flashback of Daki dengan Gyutaro. It has to finish at around
99 lah.
that flashback alone is the whole is a whole issue. It has to finish at 98.
Okay.
It has to finish at 98.
So bila habis season ni berapa lama kita kena tunggu for the new season? Ada 2
Aku tak
tahun
tahu,
ke?
aku tak lepak Reddit. Tapi aku rasa kau dah pernah tanya soalan ni a few bedah ago. Aku suspect dalam masa 2 tahun ni kita akan habiskan this series. Because you just need one long season, one OVA, or one short season, one long season, one OVA dah boleh habis. So at least 2 years lah.
Alright. Jadi soalan kedua adalah kepada anime watcher Shaz. Apakah pendapat anda tentang Tanjiro menggunakan headbutt combo dengan kunai attack while realizing bahawa dia dan Nezuko are mirror images of Gyotaro dan Daki? In a different world, their positions could have been reversed. Silakan.
I don't actually fully agree that dia macam mirror. Sebab dia nak kata macam mana Nezuko dengan Tanjiro ni, dia punya motivations, they are more self-deterministic compared dengan Daki. Daki is more reliant on Gyutaro. So yes, there are parallels dari segi adik-beradik, abang dengan adik perempuan, but the fact that Nezuko is more self-deterministic, dia lebih yakin kepada diri dia and dia lebih nak membantu abang dia compared to Daki who is very prim and proper princess. I tak tahulah when the next anime akan what the next anime will show dari segi flashback dia. But from what we can tell so far, dia lebih self-centered. Is it a defense mechanism sebab masa dia kecil dia dibully? Could be. So because of that, abang dia selalu tolong, so she becomes used to it. Abang dia akan datang tolong. Whereas kalau you tengok sejarah Tanjiro dengan Nezuko ni, dia orang hidup dekat hutan je. Dalam hutan jauh pula tu, in the middle of atas bukit. I pun tak tahu kenapa dia choose that place to stay. Probably the father chose a place there for training aku. But they are dia lebih more helping to others, whereas Daki dengan Gyutaro ni is more kita akan jaga kita je. This is something which kita even from the very first episode kita boleh tengok semua akan minta Tanjiro minta tolong, aku tak curi barang. Like dia bau, dia tak ada bau mamak ni minta tolong ikat benda, dia tolong minta buat ni, dia tolong. So they are more outward, dia orang lebih rela menolong, whereas Daki and Gyutaro is more like kita jaga kita, which is kind of funny lah considering that is our tagline nowadays kan. Okay, dia punya the fighting strategy was very good. It shows that Tanjiro is a very thinking fighter. Dia banyak guna helah, dia banyak berfikir. Dia tengah lari tu, dia baling barang, and sekali kunai tu keluar kan. That was when the weapon came out. Yang aku persoalkan, kat mana dia dapat kunai tu? So that one was like
atas lantai. Dia pergi balik kat tempat nak suruh tembak tu, dia ambil daripada lantai. That's why
Sebab
he
tu
ran
dia lari.
away. That's why he ran away.
Technically dia lari bukan sebab nak.
Coincident lah, sebab unless dia punya field of vision is very big, dia tahu mana benda tu landing. I guess he was looking for it lah.
Dia bau dia.
Dia boleh bau because the wisteria ada poison.
Dia bau.
Dia boleh
guna
bau.
Oh
armor
ya,
tu. Armor.
betul. Aku baru cakap dia boleh bau benda, lepas tu lupa benda tu ada poison kan. Cheese.
And then the scene, kalau kau ingat, the scene yang he nak suruh tembak the kunais tu, kan dia jauh sikit. So masa he nak suruh tembak tu kan, there was in the manga ada satu panel, and in fact dalam anime pun ada satu panel yang dia pandang belakang, dia nampak alamak Tengen tengah lawan siapa nama ni, Gyutaro, tapi dia nak kena tolong kat dia orang ni sebab dia nak kena lari letak Nezuko kat tempat yang lagi elok, yang lagi selamat. And then dia pandang belakang balik, dia nampak Gyutaro dah sampai dekat Hinazuru tengah nak tikam. And then dia macam alamak, what do I need to do? So dia tahulah Hinazuru was there to shoot the kunai.
I mean, dia tahu the general area, so his kelang kabut tu was actually looking for the kunai while smelling for it lah. Headbutt tu is consistent dengan dari zaman dulu lah. From day one, dia headbutt macam orang gila. And it's something yang ni abang aku dapat dari mak aku. Mak kita kan. So it's like,
I got it from my mama.
oh my god.
Actually nanti
Please
towards
don't.
sebab towards the end of the series nanti akan ada satu episod yang Tanjiro akan flashback tentang bapak dia, and when the father learn or rather observe the fire breathing style tu, dalam scene tu dia akan tunjuk just that one time how, if not how close Tanjiro was with the late father, was how much he respected the late father and how gempak the late father was. So akan ada satu scene tu bapak dia akan tunjuklah macam mana bapak dia punya terror nak defend family dia duduk kat hutan. So Tanjiro punya tendency yang macam aku acak-acak nak jatuh, macam first episode dia acak-acak nak jatuh, and then sebenarnya dia dah campak kapak, dia dah balik kapak awal-awal, samalah macam ni. Dia campak barang tapi sebenarnya dia dah campak kunai. Benda tu dalam final scene tu dia akan tunjuk. Dia dah bagi hint macam, oh bapak kau pun lawan macam ni, di mana dia boleh conceal certain movements or certain tricks to not necessarily confuse the opponent but to surprise them.
Yep.
So it is something that he took it from his father lah.
Yeah. So dari segi the development of this, where he realised that there is more than one way to fight. That is where dia punya experience dari kecil there is more than one way to fight move kepada him combining two distinct fighting styles. So it's a very good evolution as far as the character is concerned lah. Kalau nak kira compare dengan karakter sports punya karakter, sports anime,
My Hero Academia. Saya ada Black Whip tapi saya tak tahu macam nak guna Black Whip. Alamak, saya ada mental
itu lain. Itu plot device into negative plot device, lepas tu jadi balik plot device yang overdeveloped. So macam apa ni. But kalau kita tengok a lot of animes they tend not to have combination of new skills that they figure out how to combine tau. Sports anime tak ada. You don't have the 3-pointer guy tiba-tiba jadi super dunker. Kita tengok My Hero Academia pun dia orang punya fighting style tends to be more to dia orang punya style. But I mean Ochako can be considered someone who is trying to implement orang lain punya fighting style tapi tak nampak sangat lagi lah. Dia tengok the guy aku suka tu ada Spider-Man punya ability, so I will try to incorporate in my way. So it's kalau nak compare juga dengan, we can look at Dragon Ball. I think only Goku je kot yang absorb fighting style from other people. But most of the characters, unless you are the special type of character, you tend to not combine your different schools of fighting into one.
So your point is right. Your point is right. Cuma Goku dia tak ambil fight style orang lain. Dia just ambil orang lain punya motivation dengan punya ni as a way to push himself further. Dia tak ambil fighting style orang lain. He always develops. Yeah.
Teknik lah. If on the say pun mostly not style, mainly techniques. Kalau macam that instant teleportation punya teknik.
No lah, the instant teleportation.
But nothing major lah.
No, the instant teleportation was what he learned after he left Namek. So he left Namek on the capsule, but he went to a different planet. That planet was the one that taught him the instant teleportation. And then they repaired the capsule and then they balik the Earth balik. So the first thing that he did when he arrived at Earth, dia tunjuk kat dia orang, I learned something new. I learned it at this planet when I was recuperating. So it was
kira dia tak adalah adapt when adapt as in macam incorporate dalam dia punya daily fighting tak lah. Mostly just one off techniques lah. And by extension pun Kamehameha pun is what he learned.
He was taught. He learned he learned by copying. Tapi he still, because the Toguru tu was still his teacher. But he copied it lah. He was not like, okay, aku nak ajar kau Kamehameha. So that was probably the one time lah kot. Itu pun masa dia kecil, so he didn't know any better. Kan cikgu semua terkejut macam, sejak bila kau reti Kamehameha? Aku belajar berapa belas tahun kot nak belajar Kamehameha. Lo senang je macam ni je kan. Benda tu keluar. Macam what? Semua orang terkejut.
Dia power. So kita ada soalan bonus daripada Neo Camo yang bertanya, dalam manga ada explain tak kenapa kepala Tanjiro keras? Pasal dalam episod ni di penghujung Taisho era secret. Kalau korang tak tengok, betul kau tak tahu. Tapi dalam manga ada tak?
Tak ada. Nothing official lah. The Taisho is just show adalah loose ends yang bukan loose end tapi macam okay lah kalau orang tanya soalan ni, this is the reason why. So yeah.
Okay.
Tak ada dia bukan something special
lah.
atau something specific lah. Dia bukan official lah.
Okay. Soalan terakhir untuk segmen ini adalah untuk
Ariff, kau tak tanya soalan?
Yalah, Ariff lah ni. Aku tertulis Jamal. So, pada pengetahuan anda, how long will it take for everybody to recuperate from this battle? I mean, Inosuke dah kena tebuk dekat dada, Zenitsu dihempak bangunan, Tanjiro kena dekat bawah dagu, dan juga Tengen kehilangan tangan dia. So,
Ngilus ya
is it
masa
gonna
tengok
be
Tanjiro.
berminggu-minggu dekat Butterfly Mansion? Ke macam mana?
I think what's great about this anime in general and manga in general is diorang tak shy away from giving them a break lah. Dia tak ada macam dalam masa seminggu member ni apparently these three have super regenerative abilities blah blah blah. Tak. Dia walaupun
dia tak makan bean.
Dia tak makan senzu bean. Tiba-tiba aku sihat. And walaupun the Butterfly Mansion is a great place to recover, memang teknik-teknik dia macam special. Still even the previous fight with the spider demon pun took them around couple of months jugalah nak recover. At the same time dia belajar
At least a few weeks.
Dia belajar the full breathing, constant breathing apa semua tu. So I would give lah at least 3 months untuk nak recover to full heights and training sekali. They definitely will be training. So kita nampak lah dia punya progress. So progress dia tak half-assed lah. Aku tak rasa macam tiba-tiba dia ni jadi kuat pula because of just one major fight.
Betul. So kita ada 2 komen menarik daripada para penonton di rumah. Pertama daripada Syabil Syakir yang bertanya, korang rasa berapakah cost for the studio to make this quality of animation and voice actor? Ada siapa-siapa nak?
I read somewhere dalam 90k USD per episode. Is that I think kat mana baca.
Aku baru nak cakap kalau kat Malaysia ni it's 6 digits lah. Betul lah tu.
So USD and I think for the big ones yang like I think for this episode especially with the animation and everything mencecah 100k tak surprising. With all the effort and all the time needed to be put inside this, with the flawless animation, with the sound, oh my god, the sound, literally from the sound Hashira again. So 900k should not be 100k should not be too surprising.
Wow, that's pretty crazy, man. Alright, komen kedua kita ada daripada Arya yang bertanya soalan untuk panelis. Dalam arc seterusnya, mangaka ada explain tak origin Muzan? Demon ni ada di Jepun sahaja ke? Saya baca sampai chapter di mana karakter favorite saya mati dan dimakan saja. Then stop terus manga. Thank you for the spoilers. Thank you for the menjaga spoiler. Terima kasih kerana menjaga spoiler. So, apakah pendapat pembaca manga?
Unfortunately.
Apa dia? Explain origin Muzan?
Dia ada mention macam tu je lah. Dia tak ada go in depth as to how he became the Muzan. Dia tak ada.
Tapi in terms of channel dia jadi in general tu adalah. So that one you need to baca since you already there tapi tak nak baca degil, hati tisu.
Baca sampai habis sebab puas. It is dia memuaskan.
Akan puas. At least rasalah puas dengan your character yang kata kena makan tu di avenge eventually. So
betul.
Baca Iqra gitu.
Kalau Arya, kalau boleh kongsi karakter you kena makan dengan demon yang mana, sebab kita tak nak spoilkan Nick dengan Shaz, then macam boleh bagi tahu, boleh tambah lagi lah nak bagi tahu sama ada benda tu berbaloi untuk sambung atau tidak.
Dia sebenarnya origin Muzan ni telah di-describe dalam satu video dalam tahun 80-an, namanya Moonwalker.
Bodoh.
Tukar jadi kereta bro. Muzan boleh jadi kereta guys. Jangan lupa. Boleh jadi robot.
Bodoh.
Okay, soalan terakhir untuk segmen ini. Neokoma bertanya, if Akaza is too strong, what other anime character yang sama level with him?
Level 2 dengan level 3. Level 2 dengan level 1. Bukan sama kuat lah. Tu lagi kuat lah. Because the demon rank number 1 tu, korang akan faham kenapa dia rank number 1. Because there cannot be any other demon above him beyond aside from Muzan.
Does it mean the anime lain? Sebab kalau nak
anime
kira
lain.
karakter anime lain banyak je. Yang mengarut semua kat Dragon Ball lah.
Dragon
Take
Ball.
universe hilang. Like what? Take universe orang balik. What?
Careful Shaz, nanti tiba-tiba ada like fanboy datang. Oh, but can he beat Goku though? Macam
Tak boleh lah, tak boleh compare macam tu sebab
Tak ada.
okay lah kalau nak compare Akaza punya strength kan. Kalau aku ambil Bleach, I would put
Nyotora.
I wouldn't call that.
It's either Nyotora or apa ni, Grimjaw.
Grimjaw. I will give Akaza Grimjaw. I will give Akaza Grimjaw kalau dia orang jahat, kalau dia orang baik, I will give Akaza siapa? Ada dua kening tu? Lupa nama dia.
Dua kening. Siapa tu?
Lah, yang minat bini Ichigo tapi tak jadi tu.
Yang pedang jadi
Saitama terlalu kuat. Saitama tak ada bandingan. Please, Saitama tak ada bandingan. Jangan gunakan Saitama sebagai perbandingan. Saitama is the one and only. Tak ada orang boleh sama kuat dengan Saitama.
No guys.
Saitama masuk Demon Slayer je, nampak botak, Muzan dah terbakar.
Dah. Tak, aku rasa Muzan nampak Saitama, dia terus jadi dewa ke dia jadi manusia balik. Dia dah tak jadi demon. Dia insoft.
Terus jadi Wesley Snipes.
Tapi karakter terkuat di anime which nobody will admit lah is actually bini Goku. The only person that Goku takut, kau tahu. Only person. Orang lain semua kan dia berani lawan. Orang yang boleh remove universe macam like, member. Ini dia menjerit. My darling, I'm coming home. Apa bising pula ni kan?
Batu play dia kena pegang bro.
Wow.
Aku
Bukan Dragon Ball bro. Goku's balls. Macam mana bro?
Aku tak rasa Ulquiorra. Aku tak rasa Ulquiorra is Akaza though.
Ulquiorra would be number
Because-
2 lah.
No, because Ulquiorra is like number 2 or number 3 to Aizen. Tapi Aizen is not necessarily stronger than siapa nama antagonis the final arc tu yang ada God's Eye tu.
You watch.
Yeah. So like I wouldn't say that lah because in terms of ranking, Ulquiorra is only number 2 or number 3 for Aizen. Tetapi in terms of the entire Bleach punya ni, Aizen is number 2 lah kot. Kalau kita tengok the way the series ended kan. So I wouldn't give Akaza Ulquiorra lah. I might give Akaza the guy who killed Yamamoto, Gen Ryusai. Babi. Dia keluar bangkai lepas tu dia mati. Macam, oi, kau captain. Semua orang tunggu kau punya bangkai. Kau keluar bangkai terus mati. Babi.
Ironic
dia
sebab
keluar
dia
bangkai terus jadi bangkai.
Inoue. Ni. Tak, bukan. Yang minat Inoue tu siapa? Yang ada dua ni? Alah, lupa nama dia, malas nak Google.
Tak, Ulquiorra pun minat Inoue juga. So
Inoue juga, ya. Semua orang minat Inoue.
Wow.
Sebab Inoue kan dia ada healing properties tu. So that healing properties is not actually healing, but it's actually time manipulation. So dia reverse the time around that part of the body to go back to a previous stamp where the ni. Yang bila saya banyak Orochi.
Renji ke?
Abarai Renji, thank you.
Renji minat tu Rukia.
Rukia. I was repaired. Itulah Rukia, aku lupa nama Rukia.
And if you consider kan Rukia in itself, kalau dia just sebut nama pun dah boleh matikan semua demon, semua hollow. Ayat-ayat Rukia kan.
Babi.
Okay, itu saja.
Tutup.
Alright, jadi kita ada soalan bonus yang terakhir untuk segmen ini. Bagi panelis, form apakah Muzan akan jadi? Kan aku dah cakap tadi.
Michael Jackson, confirm.
Itu kan jadi kereta. Kereta tu akan terbang, lepas tu dia jadi robot. Come on guys.
Dia akan jadi dia akan jadi form hampeh. Dia akan jadi seorang yang dia akan buat macam Frieza. Tapi Frieza dia tukar 4 kali kan. Dia tukar 4 kali. Muzan dia tukar sekali je. Ke 2 kali. And then lepas dia tukar kali kedua tu yang dah peak form tu, lepas tu dia makin lama makin lose energy sebab dah nak subuh. Lepas tu dia jadi balik macam tu. Dia jadi balik macam tu. So tapi form dia yang last yang paling kuat tu memang memang evil lah. Memang nampak macam okay lah, kau memang demon lord lah.
Alright, sama-sama kita nantikan.
Sebab dia punya form tu tak pernah orang keluar. Dia tak pernah keluar, tak pernah ada orang tengok. So masa dia tukar tu dia buat declaration. Aku tak pernah tunjuk form ni ke orang.
Nice.
Wow.
Okay guys, so dengan itu berakhirlah segmen pertama kita dan kita bakal membincangkan.
Oh Cop, Nick, aku nak mention. Yang overlay kau ni dalam manga tak ada tau.
What? Serious?
Yep.
Nice.
Benda pertama UFO table belanja kita. So the reason you will see for you and Shaz, korang akan tengok in the following episode when they are telling the Gyotaro and Daki punya story. Dia dah set up. So this is where UFO table punya audible is good lah. Sebab okay, kita tak buat filler episode, kita buat filler scenes. Tapi filler scene tu bukan dia filler bodoh. Meaning dia cari parallel between Daki dengan Gyotaro and Tanjiro dengan Nezuko yang tak ada kat dalam manga, tapi bukan sebab tak ada, tapi sebab just mangaka tak tulis. So in order to make that filler, we just put it as a parallel for the viewers to reflect. And then
Dia macam seasoning lah.
dia macam seasoning. Tapi the cool thing I like about this treatment is that this kind of comparison happens in both Daki and Tanjiro punya head. So Tanjiro kata, I could have been like Daki if I did not succumb to it. So dalam manga benda tu tak ada tau. So tak pasal-pasal kalau kau baca anime and kau baca manga, kau akan rasa macam Tanjiro is given even more the character is given even more depth. Yeah. Because this is very consistent with Tanjiro punya thinking line. Cuma bila kau baca manga, kau tak perlukan benda ni untuk for you to continue reading. But in an anime, it helps basically lah. Kau dah ada attachment gila babi lah dengan Tanjiro sekarang. Because dalam pada dia sedar,
mangaka
of course it's approved. Because Tanjiro punya character, it is consistent with this character because you know he would think like that. He is already conscious about fighting and how to take care of his breathing and the environment of the fight. And then bila dia tengok Gyotaro macam tu, it's impossible for him to not reflect on Gyotaro and Daki versus him and his sister. So it's very nicely done. They could have made a filler of like, oh Tanjiro tengah balik daripada hutan tebang pokok ke apa benda. No, but they decided to use Daki and Gyotaro sebab dah ada kat situ.
Nice. Dengan itu kita akan ke babak menarik kita yang kedua. Alright, babak menarik kita yang kedua adalah second win, Decapitation, di mana satu persatu Zenitsu, Inosuke dan Tengen bangun kembali. So kita ada 3 soalan dalam segmen ini. Soalan pertama untuk anime watcher Shaz. Apakah pendapat anda tentang Inosuke hidup kembali menggunakan ability untuk menggerakkan organnya sebagai alasan dia tidak mati selepas dadanya ditembuk oleh Gyotaro?
Inilah yang
joke in Peacemaker yang vigilante buat.
Inilah yang aku cakap minggu lepas. Korang nak tunggu tikus punya moment. Inosuke akan bagi kau moment yang lagi best. Inilah moment dia. Masa aku baca panel tu aku cakap, aduh babi lah budak ni. Of all the things.
Tapi yang buat kelakarnya, I think about 2 weeks back vigilante buat joke kot dalam Peacemaker yang orang boleh guna organ kot. Cuba main organ kot. Silakan.
Tadi 6 of July gang dia tulis orang yang mahir martial art boleh pindahkan jatuh ke tempat lain. Meanwhile Inosuke, aku betulkan sikit je. Peacemaker, orang yang mahir martial art boleh pindah jatuh ke tempat lain. Inosuke, hold my sake.
Betul. Silakan Jaz.
Actually I was a bit I felt that part was a bit meh. Because why? Dia tak ada precedent before this. Dia macam aku boleh gerakkan semua organ-organ. Lalu orang semua macam cakap, okay bro, okay we take your word for it. You know,
dia masuk lubang cacing tu gerakkan organ lah tu.
Tak ada.
Dia
just gerakkan piano.
Aku setuju dengan
dia adjust dia punya sendi-sendi. Tapi the organs tu was a different thing. So at the least lah kan, to me lah, kalau dia ada mention in passing lah, kau tak tahu aku boleh gerak-gerak sendi. Lepas tu aku organ-organ pun boleh gerak-gerak. Perut aku sebenarnya kat sini. Ambil kau. Lepas tu orang cakap, okay bro, yes, okay, we believe it. So when the payoff will have been dalam this season, when they see, dia boleh lah gerak sendi dia. Oh shit, so betul ke perut dia kat dada? You know, that kind of thing lah. So I've seen this happen before dalam, I tak ingat apa benda. Was it a manga ke or Hong Kong comic? Oh, kita boleh menggerakkan kita punya nerve point. Hong Kong comic. Benda mengarut macam ni biasanya kat Hong Kong punya star comic. Dia gerak, kita punya titik maut bergerak daripada sini 3 inci ke bawah. So bila dia kena hentam sini, oh aku tak mati. Mengarut lah. So dia tak ada presiden and it came out from nowhere. You know, so at least kalau dia buat lawak pasal dia, aku boleh gerakkan organ, kalau tak percaya kan, tak apalah. Tiba-tiba tengok, kan aku tak tipu kan, ha 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 ha. But it came out of nowhere. Macam nasi goreng kita cakap lah, macam apa. Dia terus jadi, you know, benda yang tak cepat.
Aku rasa kau bias. Sebab apa? Tikus tak ada presiden tapi kau terima dengan happy. Jadi ini bias sebenarnya.
The tikus, the very first day show sampai sekarang dia konsisten. Kita ni mastermind. Kita akan benda dan kita akan keluar tempat yang kau tak sangka. So memang like konsisten bro. But this one just dia macam came out from nowhere tau. Macam like tiba-tiba ada power baru like
Shaz, aku punya apa ni argument for you to solve all the arguments kan for you lah, sebab ni ini Inosuke tu je.
I mean like aside from that, macam ni cakap lah, dia dah boleh alih-alih sendi. Kalau kau dah boleh alih-alih sendi tu boleh alih badan. And when the first tikus appeared, it came out of nowhere, tak pernah ada presiden. So tak payahlah. I mean like you can explain tikus tu buff. So then Inosuke dah boleh alih sendi tu. Kalau dia boleh alih sendi, kau pun dah boleh alih organ. So aku rasa benda ni equal je.
Dia sebenarnya benda that comment was trying to put logic to benda yang tak logik when the character is illogical. Itu je.
Sekejap, that is the issue here. Macam how is Inosuke illogical? Macam mana Inosuke illogical? Itu soalan aku sebenarnya. How can the king of the forest, the lord of the beast be illogical apabila dia telah diterima oleh the god of flamboyance? It cannot be illogical.
Tapi kalau nak meet in the middle lah, kalau macam between Jamal dengan Shaz kan, macam yes, macam Nick cakap, dia memang dah, the president is on the gerak-gerakan sendi. And yes, from Shaz punya point of view juga, ada macam tiba. Macam, aku boleh gerak-gerak macam, babi tiba siap. Tapi that tiba moment
is very Inosuke.
Selain macam, dia macam ayam ya, betul lah.
#TIBER, itulah Inosuke.
Macam if it comes to Inosuke macam
Club Johnny
Tak, sebab dia #TIBER itu adalah Inosuke.
dia tiba yang betul. Dia tiba pada tempat yang sepatutnya.
Yes. Shaz, ada apa-apa lagi?
Oh tak ada. Cuma I just nak mention I didn't get the Peacemaker punya thing sebab aku tak tengok Peacemaker. So
the fuck bro. HBO Go. Astro ada HBO Go, sila pergi tengok.
Shaz, bukan kau sendiri je. Kau sendiri kan kata aku dah jumpa HBO Go kat Astro kat mana.
Tapi aku tak nampak Peacemaker bro. Aku tak nampak.
Bodoh lah. John Cena dah buat benda tu. Kan John Cena answer to mean tweets kan. Dia kata I can't see Peacemaker because I cannot. I haven't watched Peacemaker yet because I cannot see him. Lepas tu dia pandang dia terus dia kata that joke is getting too old.
Dia dah marah bro. Dia dah marah
dah.
Kita dah lebih 40 tengok anime lagi. So boleh lah buat lawak bodoh.
Kita ada soalan bonus ya. Macam mana Inosuke boleh mencapai kepantasan Zenitsu yang pakai kelajuan paling laju?
Oh,
jawapan aku adalah
jawapan dia tiba.
Siap.
Anything about Inosuke tiba. Tiba breathing.
Soalan jawapan logik nombor 1. Kau nampak tak betis Inosuke punya shape macam mana? Itu satu. Aku nak betis sebab nanti tak silap aku, I might have misremembered, akan ada satu scene in 2 arcs from now. Akan ada orang nampak Inosuke training, betul nampak badan dia betul aku tak cukup kuat macam budak ni, kau tengok betis budak ni. So macam itu satu. Nombor 2, Zenitsu cuma pakai form number 1. So dia punya kelajuan tu bukan paling laju lagi. Sebab ada 7 form. Dia reti pakai form number 1 je. So itu hanyalah kelajuan paling laju untuk Zenitsu. So kita tak boleh nak compare macam tu lagi ya. Lagi 2 sampai 6 tu Itu mungkin maha laju, terlampau laju.
Yes. Alright, soalan kedua adalah untuk manga reader Ariff. Pada pengetahuan anda, apakah yang dimaksudkan oleh Zenitsu bahawa dia sudah mencapai limitnya? Is this a new form yang dicipta oleh Zenitsu yang hanya boleh digunakan 2 kali dalam satu battle? He even named it tapi aku tak faham like what the fuck is that?
Apa Godspeed Is it
Godspeed tu, Godspeed tu. Ya.
Dia kalau you nak bring back to season 1, dia ada buat apa? 2-fold, 4-fold, 6-fold, 8-fold. Dia macam kalau nak draw parallel to Dragon Ball, dia macam Kaioken lah. Kaioken yang apa? Dia berlipat-lipat kali ganda tu, something like that. So Zenitsu ni dia punya special dia gerti buat satu je. Even the atuk pun acknowledge yang kau ni memang boleh buat satu je. But you super master it sampai kau boleh develop multiplier and also variants of it lah, lebih kurang. So for him, yang for this particular episode, Godlike Speed ni is him pushing the outmost of this technique, this one technique. So I think nak correct yang Jamal, doesn't necessarily mean the rest of the form 2 ke 6 5 ke 7 is faster. Tak, it's a variation of lightning, but Zenitsu dia master of this particular form 1 lah. This high speed EI jutsu lah. I think it's practically an EI jutsu at this point. So dia macam kita tengok kenapa dia boleh buat 2 kali saja is dia macam kita establish the breathing technique is how you utilize all the breathing to your physical state kan. So dia boleh dia punya kaki mampu 2 tu je. Maybe if dia train boleh sampai 3, mungkin boleh sampai 4, but at his standard age right now boleh buat sampai 2 saja. That is his limit. That is his limit before dia punya kaki give out. So it's not the different form.
Ni lebih daripada 8 kali lah. Dia ada
Yes.
1, 2, 6, 8. So and then Godspeed.
Basically ni dia punya jurus yang paling hebat lah basically.
Sekejap,
Yang
Ariff,
boleh
masa
memakan
dia,
diri.
yang masa dia lawan final fight, masa demon tu, kan there were scenes where that demon outran atau outspeed him. Nak tunjuk yang lagi 2 sampai 6, the form 2 to 7 tu. So I'm not too sure. I think
it's less about the form, more on the demon itself lah sebenarnya.
okay, fair point. Cuma my point is that form number 1 is not necessarily the fastest form. So that's what I wanted to say.
Okay, fair. Boleh?
Yeah. It's not whether which form is, it's the fact that form number 1 is not the fastest lah, because kan there were masa dia tengah lawan tu ada a few times yang demon tu kata macam kau tak boleh buat, kau boleh buat yang ni je, tak apa, aku tunjuk kau benda lain, and then demon tu tunjuk, and then baru Zenitsu kata okay, you know what fucker, I will show you this. Okay lah, dia tak cakap kat demon, dia buat dulu, lepas tu demon tu kata macam ni mana kau dapat ni mana ada, tak pernah wujud benda ni. Then
Aku wujudkan. Wow, that's gonna be awesome. Nak kena tunggu
hashtag
lagi
tiba.
setahun. Tunggu lagi setahun untuk tengok tiba tu. Alright, soalan terakhir untuk segmen ini adalah untuk manga reader Jamal ya. Pada pengetahuan anda, apakah yang dimaksudkan oleh Tengen Uzui bahawa dia dapat mendengar Blood Demon Arts Gyotaro? Is this a new unlock level bagi Sound Hashira?
Tak, apparently in the manga it explains ini macam you know those final twist, lepas tu dia reveal tapi mungkin nampak macam McGuffin sikit, where dia kata oh sebenarnya aku lawan kau macam ni sebab aku tengah nak analysing kau, so I've been collecting data. So after fighting you all this while, my data collection is complete and my analysis is complete. Now I know I can beat you because this is how you fight. Tu je lah. So that was just it. Dia tak ada, that was his special power lah, yang macam Rengoku is just a jurus ataupun is just a form. Macam Uzui sebab dia shinobi, so dia kena ada taktik-taktik sikit. So this is one of his tactics lah kot, which is to tell people, oh this is how I normally win fights. I will spend the whole fight to analyse you, and if I come to this point now I can break you down and I can take you on lah. Itu je, nothing more lah. It's just that when it was revealed, for me masa aku baca manga aku rasa macam alamak, dia tak ada scene sebelum tu macam just one panel yang Renggu kata okay, I need 5 more minutes, or I need 2 more minutes, or I need to I need a bit more info. Does he have any more moves? Dia tiba-tiba je, tu je lah.
Adakah aku ingatkan pasal dia hilang tangan, so dia lebih macam aku kena guna whatever is left with me.
Tak.
Aku boleh dengar.
From the way the manga was written, in the manga, it's as if benda tu memang part of his part of his skill set atau part of his move set. Repertoire dia, tu je lah.
Okay. Kita ada satu soalan bonus daripada Syabil Syakir yang bertanya, lepas ni diorang akan cerita tak macam mana Zenitsu dapat kuasa dia masa dia tidur?
Aku tak ingat masa aku baca dah masuk final chapters, final arc tu aku dah lupa benda ni. Aku just macam and granted towards the end ada moment yang Zenitsu lawan tapi tak tidur dah.
Dia the second tiba lah. So Inosuke dia punya tiba sebab dia macam babi. So Zenitsu dia lawan waktu dia tidur tu tiba nombor 2. Lepas tu Tanjiro kepala dia keras tiba nombor 3. Elok lah tu dia 3 tiba.
Dia 3 tiba. Tiba-tiba.
Is that when we can call Zenitsu punya awakening?
Dia punya awakening masa dalam training. To me lah, that's when I took the awakening. Dia tak awakening kat dalam fight, dia awakening masa training. Tapi bukan sebab dia tengah training tau.
Joke lah, bro. Shaz tengah cuba.
Aku tahu, aku tengah counter joke dia dengan jawapan serius. Aku counter jawapan joke dia dengan jawapan serius.
Kita kena bagi slow clap.
Tak boleh. Nanti kau nak slow clap siapa? Slow clap Citizen Kane ke? Kau nak slow clap Shia LaBeouf? Shia LaBeouf. Tak, Zenitsu punya awakening adalah moment dia tak tidur dan dia tengah duduk training. Lepas tu dia tak nak training sebab dia rasa dia tak kuat. Lepas tu dia tengok orang lain, and then dia macam ada kesedaran, and then dia kata macam, you know what, aku seorang je boleh buat benda ni. Kalau aku tak buat, tak ada orang akan buat. So agak underwhelming sebab orang lain semua macam tengah desperate, tengah lawan baru ada awakening. Zenitsu punya macam dia tengah duduk, dia tengah depressed. Aku tak terror, aku tak nak training dah. Macam dia tengok orang lain, semua orang tengah bekerja keras, aku tak kerja keras pun. Adakah sebab aku tak kisah? Itu dia reflect sekejap. Tapi kalau aku tak buat benda ni, nanti siapa yang okeylah aku kena buat benda ni. Itu awakening dia. Agak underwhelming lah.
Masa dia tidur, is he aware that he's fighting?
I don't know. I don't know. After reading
Never
manga,
been
after this point, aku dah tak kisah. Never been explained. Aku tak pernah jaga dan aku tak tahu.
Wow.
Dia macam at certain point dia macam kalau macam kat season 1 macam alamak macam mana Demon ni mati. Congratulations budak. And another point dia macam bila dia bangun tu dia macam okay, this happened. And dia macam tiba.
Aku rasa kan dia tidur tu sebenarnya itu adalah domain dia. Sebab kepada mereka-mereka yang baca atau tengok Jujutsu Kaisen, bila dia tidur, domain dia switch on. Bila domain dia switch on, baru dia boleh lawan.
Jadi benda lain dah. Okay, soalan terakhir untuk segmen ini adalah daripada Sylvia yang bertanya, kalau Tanjiro, Zenitsu dan Inosuke dah dapat kalahkan Upper Demon, adakah maksudnya tahap diorang dekat Demon Core makin meningkat gila?
Yes. Cuma tak setinggi yang kita sangka atau yang diorang sangka. Walaupun masih tinggi, tapi tak setinggi yang kita sangka. Itu je lah.
Alright.
Tapi naik pangkat pun bukannya ada benefit, punya dapat rumah besar, punya dapat makan besar. Macam mana?
Diorang makan besar weh. Diorang makan besar weh. Nanti kau tengok every time injured masuk hospital, lepas tu keluar, lepas tu kena hidang dengan makanan. Weh, makan besar weh. 18 pinggan. Nanti kau tengok. Serius.
Demon Slayer Core ni tak ada discrimination. Dia tak ada pangkat. Dia semua equal.
Dia kalau kau bukan demon, kalau kau bukan dia ada lah sikit je lah. Kalau kau bukan Hashira,
ranking je lah.
Dia ranking je lah. Kau bukan Hashira dan kau yang penolong-penolong, lepas tu kau yang tu je lah.
Okay. Alright. Semoga semua persoalan terjawab. Dengan itu berakhirlah segmen ini dan kita akan ke babak menarik kita yang terakhir. Alright, babak menarik kita yang terakhir adalah tentang finale Explosive Success. Kita ada hanya satu soalan untuk segmen ini bagi ketiga-tiga panelis. Pada pendapat anda, apakah terjadi pada cliffhanger ending ini? Adakah badan Gyotaro meletup, menghancurkan semua orang? Aku tak faham. Shaz, apakah pendapat kau sebagai seorang anime watcher only? Silakan.
Aku rasa dia lose control of dia punya demonic powers and it become macam slashing attack everywhere lah. basically the power that he's been exhibiting all this time, the spinning red blood punya demon attack tu, so dah tak ada control, so it explode lah kot. But aside from that, aku rasa the way they show it as part of the ending credits, you know, masa meletup, lepas tu macam slowly time change and everything, macam like, oh, that's very interesting. It's a subtle, you know, telling you, look, fight dah habis guys, dah habis. Pada tunggulah next week.
Sampai tak ada lagu tau. Dia tak ada ending theme song. Aku macam, what? Gila, fucked up tu.
Dia nak kasih that feeling of dread.
Taisho era secret.
Yes, betul. Dia nak kasih that
for me,
feeling.
for this Taisho era kan, dia rasa macam, alamak, kenapa korang letak? Dia rasa macam dia hilang that feeling of seriousness sikit tau. Macam tiba-tiba cakap pasal dahi keras, macam okay. Alamak, should have just ended it there.
Yeah man, it should have just ended dark gila ya.
And I think when that happened kan, tiba-tiba the blood semua meletup, and then macam Syah cakap lah, tiba-tiba macam okay, senyap. Normal people would expect yang akan terus cut to that ending credits yang dia nyanyi apa semua tu, tak ada. And even how the color palettes shift daripada merah become slowly faded, grey apa semua.
Lawa sel ending tu sebab aku tengok sampai habis. Lawa gila. Tak pernah aku tengok anime credits tau. It's not even opening, it's just the credit scene in a finale of a second season, which is not even the most important arc. Tak banyak review, but they give that ending there. Tak pernah aku tengok anime weekly episode bagi treatment credit roll macam tu. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's quite interesting because okay. Dia is quite interesting kalau you tengok the entire episode dari segi execution dia, because he's the sound Hashira tau. So they push the sound punya works, the art and everything meletup dengan color macam banyak mata kan. Right towards the end, the final explosion, boom, and then all the colours fade out, bunyi pun senyap, like alamak, mati ke sang Hashira ni, dah tak ada bunyi dah sunyi kan. So it's very artistic lah from that sense. Aku tak tahu kenapa bila Jamal kata, wow, cerita dia hype, tiba-tiba aku oversensitive. Oh, dari sini ni bagus lah kalau macam ni. Sebab mungkin dia punya primer tu, cerita ni hype guys. So aku pun, kepala pun like expecting a lot of hype. So, you know, analysis lebih sikit lah masa tu.
Nanti aku tunjuk the manga as to why I find it hype. Also in the manga, dia tak tunjuk apa jadi kat badan Gyotaro. So korang, you can make it what you will lah.
Dia macam ni ada, I think it's not much of a spoiler pun kan. They make it bigger in anime. It ended where it ended, correct, but it felt more severe in anime.
Yeah.
Dalam
rasa,
manga dalam manga tak rasa sangat lah, sebab manga sebab dia just shift between pages kan.
Yeah. Itu satu. And another one, aku rasa I won't be surprised if the finale episode, the final episode or the finale episode, dia akan mungkin tambah filler to show what happened to the body. It's not important, I don't think they would, but if they do, I won't be surprised. Because dalam manga tak ada. And kalau kau tunjuk pun benda tu tak penting.
And also tadi aku rasa ni macam Syabil and also Kudo cakap pasal yang dia start the power and then macam dah execute dah, so you cannot put a stop on it. Pun satu, I think another second, this is just theory lah, is this is an upper rank demon. You can even say the actual upper rank 6, which walaupun dia share lah kan. So macam kalau kau tengok cerita-cerita or any play games with demons or anything kan, if you kill the big boss, there will surely be like an explosion ke, like you cannot contain this power already, blah boom. So this is somewhat lah, but this is probably the 6th closest demon to Muzan. So dia punya blood dalam badan pun banyak. So for it to overflow like this is not surprising. And
banyak je demon yang dia ada final flourish yang tambah-tambah. Macam Gyotaro macam ni, dia punya final flourish. The immediate arc after this, satu final flourish dia pelik, another one final flourish dia macam okay, kita recombine, lepas tu kita jadi form yang baru, which is pretty bullshit lah kalau aku tanya aku. Macam kalau aku lawan tu, you know, fuck it lah, give up, aku cepat pedang. Dah malas. Sebab 8 kali kau buat macam ni kat aku tak ada mood dah main lawan.
Stop pulling yourself off, please.
Ya, itulah. Betul. Yang lain semua ada juga dia punya final flourish dia. Macam Akaza punya final flourish is betul, dia bukan flourish lah. Dia final tapi bukan flourish sebab dia bersambung lagi. That was how determined he was as a human, which translated into him as a demon. Determination yang datang daripada story yang sangat tragik lah.
Kau kata kau nak tunjuk manga dia? I
Oh,
think this is the
okay,
best time.
Alright, so aku tunjuk sekejap
At the same time, Ariff, kalau kau boleh jawab soalan ni.
Which one? Ya. Ni suka record demon slayer jadi demon ke tak ada. The less of a cerita but more to dia taklah cerita but you will definitely show the motivation why lah. And I hope you will know why on the next episode. Kalau sebab waktu tengah during this ni pun aku just skim through chapters, and if I expect dia berhenti dekat mana yang kita semua expect dia berhenti, you will somewhat see the reason lah.
Alright. So kita akan share screen sekarang yang Jamal share.
Okay, ni korang nampak screen yang satu page je yang Uzui cerita dia ada dia punya Uzui unique battle formula, dia punya tu satu scene je. Okay, so scene yang kau tengok Uzui dengan apa nama Gyotaro terbang sana terbang sini lawan extended, it's this panel.
What?
Ini,
wow.
And then this page, and then terus dia kena belah. So 3 panel je. Dalam 3 panel tu UFO table belanja kita macam dekat 3 hingga 4 minit.
Yes.
Dia
banyak
extend,
gila slashing back and forth.
Banyak gila slashing back and forth. And then kata Uzui-san, don't stop, go. Lepas tu dia lompat. Lepas tu dia nak tetak, and then apa nama, dia kena cucuk. So this was when I lost my shit. So it's because lah Uzui lawan Gyotaro 3-4 panel je, tapi kau bagi kita berapa banyak minit. Itu satu.
Yes.
And then for me, the thing that I really liked after that was not the only thing yang dia belanja. So aku akan back a few pages nak tunjuk kat kau yang siapa nama ni, Inosuke dengan Zenitsu lawan. So this is dia dah tetap, and then Oni-chan, and then nak tetap tak boleh tetap, and then kita nampak dalam anime this was fleshed out very nicely. So Daki nak tembak dia punya OB tu, and then ada all these lines of Zenitsu. So tiba-tiba Zenitsu floating macam ni. Tapi kalau kau tengok dekat anime, that is very different lah. The way they treat, the way they give Zenitsu the moment kan, macam wow, dengan background hitam, patu putih, biru, putih tu, silvery tu, berkilat-kilat tu. And then diorang dua lawan ini je ada kau dapat, tapi in the anime kau nampak dia terbang sana terbang sini. And then dia cakap, and then dia kata Godspeed. So nampak tak, dalam anime dia really presented the Godspeed punya ni sambil Zenitsu cakap. So this was just it.
Agak basic lah lukisan dia. Aku tak terima lah bro.
Sangat basic.
And then masa
GS Mikami ke ni from the 1980s. Is this fucking GS Mikami shit?
So a lot of mangas yang popular sekarang, I'm not gonna say anything about their art style, but a lot of the mangas that became popular and then became adapted, banyak je yang panels dia memang rupa macam ni. But because the story is compelling and then it's really popular, the studios decided to take it up lah. Macam kalau aku tunjukkan kau Yowamushi Pedal versus the anime is teruk. Okay, I'm just gonna show you guys Haikyuu punya actual manga panels. It is not as pretty as whatever you've seen on anime. Ni aku tak boleh bagi okay, tengah.
Aku tak
This
tunjuk.
is Haikyuu.
Bila kau dah sedia
Okay.
aku tunjuk.
So okay dah. Kita tunjuk. So Haikyuu is just like this tau.
Kita akan tengok Haikyuu.
So kalau siapa yang tengok Haikyuu punya anime, exactly, it's very basic.
Yeah man.
Tapi bila kau tengok anime, it's so clean. Walaupun dia tak lari daripada the art style of the mangaka. So a lot of adaptations have gone down this route. So it's great lah. I think MHA is one of the few left yang memang anime manga quite sama. Attack on Titans pun sama, anime dengan manga quite sama. Although Attack on Titans the anime makes it look nicer lah. Kalau kau tengok manga dia agak it's a bit gory, but I think that was the feel that the mangaka wanted. Chainsaw Man, tak tahu kita tengok anime, aku tak tengok clip lagi kalau dah keluar teaser. Aku tak baca Chainsaw Man, so no comments. Aku tengok panels a few je.
Okay. Kita ada soalan terakhir untuk segmen ini. Abu Mahdi bertanya, tak ada soalan pasal tatu Tanjiro yang merebak serta rambut dia yang jadi macam Goku tu. What's that all about?
Dalam manga dia tak cerita, tapi eventually akan jadi kecoh dengan di kalangan Demon Slayer core.
So ini
nanti kau tengok lah. Ini teaser lah.
It's a teaser of a very 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 prominent plot device.
Plot device yang sangat penting. Lepas tu sangat penting sebab there is an entire arc dedicated to that.
Wow. So diorang buat macam tongan terbalik, diorang tunjuk kita sekarang tapi dalam manga diorang tak tunjuk langsung lah. Until that story arc.
Dalam manga dia ada je scene tu. Dia keluar tadi tapi aku skip through that page. Ada je dia tunjuk scene tu.
I think the best way to explain is that will be explained in the next season and the next arcs.
In the next season towards the end.
Towards the end. Sebab dia bila kita nampak ni kita assume macam benda ni macam this is just a visual effect of how to show determination, but no, it's not it. I won't go further, but it's not just visually lah.
Manga tunjuk apa tu Kudo? As in kalau panel yang kata nampak benda tu turun, yes.
Nampak sayang.
Nampak. Manga ada. Cuma they will explain it towards the end of the next arc, and then it will lead into the arc where it's pretty much about this particular thing specifically.
Adakah benda ni penting berbulu macam gorila?
Tak ada. Dia punya pentingnya benda ni. dia punya pentingnya benda ni, tapi tak, Inosuke tadi dia punya bulu semua kat kepala ke atas, leher ke atas. Dia tak ada kepala bulu. Benda ni dia punya penting, nanti the entire Demon Slayer core akan macam oh shit. Benda ni ada. Betul macam Tanjiro macam aku ingat korang tahu. Aku pun tak tahu benda ni apa. Aku pun tak perasan. Macam mana korang perasan?
Tiba-tiba kat belakang
semua orang macam
tiba-tiba kat belakang pintu keluar Orochimaru.
Babi.
macam apa ni saya tak nak tahu.
It is a very important thing. It is a very important thing to the point that semua Demon Slayer akan kata okay, benda ni penting. We all need to do something about this together as a core. If we do not do this, we might not stand a chance against Musa. Pretty important problem.
Ni macam Goku first time jadi Saiyajin lah, Super Saiyajin.
Close.
Macam semua orang macam like,
Close.
we all must learn how to do this.
Tapi masalahnya we all tu Goku dengan Vegeta je lah. Dan kat sini pula ini pula the entire Demon Slayer punya core lah.
Alright,
demi macam 5-6 orang Demon Hashira yang tinggal tu, the entire core kita okay, semua orang korang kena buat benda ni untuk 6 orang ni. Okay, kita ikut. Comel gila.
Alright, kita ada satu soalan menyimpang before we go to the next one. Ada penulis yang baca Solo Leveling tak?
Saya tak baca, maaf. Ariff.
Lari terus.
Dia nak pergi Solo Leveling lah tu.
Lain macam.
Solo Leveling dalam tandas ke?
Bateri nak habis tu, itu ambil charger tu.
Oh, okay. Yes, aku baca. It's a manhwa. And dia dah habis, actually baru habis, I think last month kot dia habis, dia resolve. And for people yang suka the isekai-ish kind of manga or anime, that's a nice lah. And especially isekai, sebab apa manhwa kan dia punya subgenre is very video game-ish, yang apa dia level up kind of stuff. Yang RPG-ish punya style. So Solo Leveling is puas lah. Kalau tengok daripada start sampai habis memang puas lah baca. And dia akan ada anime in couple of months time. Dah announce.
Saya racist, saya tak baca manhwa.
Babi.
Tapi Pedas Setiawan baca
Pedas Setiawan aku tak baca. Aku baca, the closest I read was the Hong Kong punya Street Fighter versions. There were 2 at the time. And then Alam Perwira at one point. Raja Rimba dengan Pedas Setiawan or dia Mandarin punya equivalent Tinha dengan Hap-Hao aku tak baca.
Kau
sampai
tak? Kau sampai tak? Angkasa Berdarah.
Tak apa.
Aduh, then you tak sampai lah.
China
Cepat
Shaz?
combine
China
dua
Shaz?
teknik.
Aku tak boleh terima Hong Kong comics lah. Nak level up je kena main. Lepas tu baru macam
serious
aku
lah?
lepaskan chi aku. Aku macam
Serius lah?
Iyalah. Dah asyik tersumbat je kat situ. Mana kau nak flow kau punya team?
bodoh gila sial. Kena main bodoh gila. Okay guys.
In fact, speaking of that kan Nick, masa when I was reading Street Fighter kat sekolah tu, there were two Street Fighter series that was popular in Hong Kong punya comics tau. One is Kai Tou Pao, which is direct translation Street Fighter, Fighter of the Streets ataupun the King of the Streets. Another one was some random name lah. So the first one tadi tu, it's as loyal or as faithful to the source material, i.e. the game, as it could be lah. Based on, sebab masa tu dia punya lore dia tak develop lagi, dia follow lebih kurang je. Because the lore came from the game itself, so the creator, the comic creator boleh tambah-tambah. The second one though, aku nak kena komen, aku petik sebab aku nak komen apa yang kau cakap tu. The second one, Ryu bukan dia punya main protagonist, Ken was the main protagonist. Dan Chun-Li couple dengan Ryu, lepas tu break to couple dengan Ken. Lepas tu ending dia, diorang dua sacrifice diri diorang sebab M. Bison / Vega punya power terlalu kuat. Sebab power diorang boleh panggil alien lah, boleh panggil semesta semua. So for them to be able to beat, Ken dengan Chun-Li kena make out. So they were making out and they were surrounded by a force field. So that when they made out, their powers came together and they sacrificed themselves in a huge explosion to counter Vega punya power. That was the last episode. So aku panel tu, that issue aku beli sebab just because it was the last issue, aku macam okay, this was not the Street Fighter I wanted to play. The Street Fighter aku simple je. Kyle punya kawan baik Charlie kena bunuh. Chun-Li punya bapak kena bunuh. Aku nak kejar cerita tu je. Like okay cool, thank you, the art is nice, but macam what? Ken tiba-tiba boleh sampai that final panel tu, siap ada space, siap ada planet-planet, aku terus fuck this shit man.
Itu dah melalut.
Gila. So aku macam yeah, that shit has happened. I do not know if it still happens now because we do not read anymore. Nobody translates Hong Kong manga or Hong Kong comics to Mandarin anymore. So so it's that macam
Tapi kan with the arrival of manhwa punya style comics kan, all this weirdo Hong Kong style punya arts dah jadi kurang. Like it or not, the Hong Kong people got influenced by the Japanese punya styles.
Yeah.
To some degree lah. Aku rasa benda ni kita tak rasa macam tu because kita dah tak ada orang kat Malaysia yang import dan translate benda tu. Or rather scanlate benda tu. So aku rasa kat sana hidup je lagi benda-benda ni because their artists make a lot of. Okay, you know what? I was about to say their artists do make a decent living and then I want to pull it back because I do know people who have worked in sweatshops di mana diorang in Malaysia where they tolong lukis background and buat paneling dan buat lettering untuk Hong Kong mangas, untuk Hong Kong comics. Yeah. So we have sweatshops in sampai sekarang. We have sweatshops in Malaysia who do that for Hong Kong comics, which may or may not be the more popular ones because kat Hong Kong the way they draw is different. In Japan, manga dia, the mangaka draws everything. And then when it becomes famous, dia akan ada team of graphic artists that will draw for them. And dia orang akan jadi editor. So the mangaka jadi editor. Dekat US, for example, the editor is one editor, dia pegang 8 atau 10 buku depending on the way they divide the titles.
X-Men,
each title X-Men, Fantasy Four, Avengers, whatever. Yeah. And then each title akan ada satu penciler, satu inker, satu letterer, satu colorist. Yeah. Yang kadang-kadang akan depending on the issue mungkin akan ada 2 penciler and then the penciler might be drawing 2-3 different titles a month. Hong Kong is different tau. In one issue, seorang lukis the figures, seorang sketch the panel, seorang lukis the main figures, seorang lukis the background, seorang color the background, seorang color the front figures. So it's very interesting way to delegate and divide work. Yang paling simple dan paling produktif is Jepun sebab generally it's always one person doing everything, story to paneling to plotting and everything. In Hong Kong, it's a combination of a team. Lepas tu dia ada sweatshops which America dengan Jepun tak ada, Korea pun tak ada. In America, again the penciler draws everything. So tapi dia dengan editor akan sketch out the panels first. So dia ada banyak iterations. So lepas seminggu kau dah lukis the whole entire issue, datang balik editor dengan kau akan sembang, lepas tu ubah certain panels baru kau betul-betul lukis. Kalau manga, tengoklah mangaka kau macam mana, tengok editor kau macam mana. So it's very different writing processes.
Yang seronok manga ni is when you can tell tau, the main mangaka draw macam ni, lepas tu kat belakang tu ada karakter-karakter yang ni nampak sangat assistant dia yang buat.
There are mangakas who actually draw that. This is how flexible the mangakas are. There are mangakas yang macam Taisho tu, even from the 80s, 90s, the manga would be, diorang lukis cantik-cantik and then kat belakang dia lukis comel-comel. Because the mangakas are that flexible. So, but yes, but there are mangakas macam kau cakap, dia akan suruh dia punya assistant lukis kat belakang, depending on how the arrangement is lah. Vinland Saga, Vinland Saga. Studios, yes. Tapi tu studio, ni anime, bukan manga. But anime semua orang boleh buat. Anime memang semua orang akan.
Andri, dah lama tak dengar dia bedah anime.
Yes, because
Ada.
Vietnam is the most recent market yang paling cepat buat animation lah. Sebab dia orang punya kerja laju dan sangat efisien. I won't be surprised kalau Indonesia pun akan naik in the next 3-4 years.
Wow, Indonesia. Alright guys, so dengan itu berakhirlah segmen ini dan kita bakal membincangkan harapan kami bagi episod minggu ini. Alright, jadi judul episod minggu ini adalah No Matter How Many Times We're Reborn. Jadi apakah harapan anda untuk episod terakhir bagi musim kedua ini nanti? Silakan Jamal.
Aku nak tengok kau dengan Shaz sebab dan nak tengok macam mana dia nak set up the next arc lah.
Even the title pun bila baca and know what happens macam
no words, right? Agak sedih lah. Because the very important thing is that Tanjiro is the catalyst for the title. Sebab dan dia in a way dia dah foreshadow benda ni sebab dia dah bagi kita overlay Tanjiro dengan Nezuko, lepas tu Daki dengan Gyotaro macam tu kan. So nanti itulah meeting scene pun yes. Tapi dalam ni aku nak tengok Shaz dengan Nick punya reaction bila dia tengok Tanjiro bawa Nezuko, lepas tu jumpa Daki dengan Gyotaro before Daki dengan Gyotaro dies, and then what happens after that.
Tanjiro ni kalau tengok based on the rest pun dia macam he's like the postmortem therapist lah.
Wow. Okay.
Dah potong kepala, gila jangan jadi jahat.
Macam could have gone like could have done that like 10 minutes before, you know, like macam but no.
Tak boleh lah kalau member tu duk tengah hunus dia punya scythe tu, dia nak therapist. Macam kau duduk sini pesi kena belah kan. Kau duduk pesi kena belah.
Tell me your regret.
Tell me your regret.
Breathing.
Regret breathing macam siapa. Shaz, silakan Shaz sebagai anime watcher only.
Well, I guess it's good to see the storytelling part of it lah, because kita dah lama dah dipeliakkan mata, and then also all the sound effects and everything. I baru sempat tengok this episode sekali je, so I'm hoping to watch it again sometime this week lah. Tak tahu sempat ke tak, because dia punya compare dengan yang manga yang Jamal show tadi macam like boring je panel-panel ni, because I wanted to mention this tadi tapi tak sempat. If the way they're going now is they're taking stories macam ni and animating it, because it seems that they want to go for people mangaka yang produce good story and their panels already have a summary of what the fight is like and all that, then they just tambah the animation je, which is much easier than trying to extend the story, you know, on their own or creating a fresh new story. So my hoping is that they will tie up all loose ends like a lot of us are waiting for. Let's see how dia orang punya set story is like. And actually aku curious lah nak tengok what is going to, will they show how Uzui is going to be, or is that going to be like in the next season? Because is this going to be the 1 or 2 berapa bulan punya ni time skip right at the end, or is it just going to be ending in the speculated meeting punya scene? Because that would be a good what do you call it, cliffhanger punya episode lah. Semua orang macam like they're about to make the big move, We'll see.
The cliffhanger guys tu.
Alright. Okay guys,
Ariff belum. Oh, Ariff.
Mine basically the same. Apa yang Jamal dengan I think the same jugalah. We just want, since it is the last episode kan, so kita nak tahu mainly on the meeting, and most definitely I hope at least 15 minutes of kisah sedih the two siblings tu lah. That is my, even from the title pun, like that's my main draw. Macam baca apa ni, dengar dia punya title macam sebab sial. Although like macam disgusting gila dua ekor ni waktu dia hidup, tapi bila dah macam sedih.
Nak menjawab Ariff punya komen. Dia nak more waifu scenes. Aku tak sure Ariff punya taste for waifu macam mana. But I feel that there will be one last reveal lah.
Yes. Ari suka mak bakugo. Nak buat macam mana?
Dia suka yang garang.
Yes.
Tak, sebab ada satu lagi reveal at the end of the season yang macam mungkin Nick akan kata, sejak bila dia boleh buat macam ni? Atau Shaz mungkin kata, ni tak pernah ada presiden. Inilah presidennya. Okay. So
that's gonna be the new BuzzPOP for Shaz tau. Mana ada presiden sebelum ni?
Lepas tu gambar muscle mice.
Sebab kat Malaysia biasanya Prime Minister je, kita tak pernah ada presiden pun.
Alamak. Sebelum ni bukan Republic.
So anyway, tapi point dia betul, aku setuju dengan Shaz that sense. Sebab masa benda tu jadi, when I was reading the manga, aku pun macam this is so convenient. But it was there because there could not have been any other place to put it at. And then benda tu jadi elemen yang penting for the storytelling in the next coming arcs lah. So aku tak tahu korang akan react macam mana bila kau tengok Revelation ni. Sebab Revelation ni akan menaikkan power level salah seorang karakter kita. Ya.
Aku ada satu, I saw one comment tadi flash out, tapi aku tak ingat siapa nama dia. It's like yang dah baca manga ni, dia like saying what is there to look for the next episode. Okay, here we go. Sebab it's very simple. What we can look forward to kan is dia punya expression of the characters, dia punya voice, how they express themselves. Because you dah biasa tengok dia ni jerit all the time kan, kesian budak ni. So now you get to hear them being sad and how they are, their brotherly as brother and sister punya bond, how it's portrayed. And of course the part that you cannot get dalam dia punya in mangas is the music lah. Kalau if you play the music right, like that anime series your Light in April tu, the whole series is about the music. So macam like sedihnya. Jamal should watch it.
Actually kan aku nak, now I'm beginning to wonder if they've managed to give us the overlay yang masa awal-awal ni bagi tadi, where Nadzru dengan Nezuko looking at Kaki and Gyotaro. I wonder how they will do that very last scene between Kaki and Gyotaro. That would be quite touching ah. That would be really touching.
Adakah
aku rasa panjang kot kai dia.
Panjang. Panjang.
Sebab kat dalam manga je it's one issue.
Wow.
In total, half an issue here, half an issue there, akan berkembang jadi one issue.
Wow.
Lebih kurang.
Okay.
No, actually 1.5 aku rasa.
1.5 mainly 1.5
because the first issue was dia cerita how did they end up, what was the backstory, and then the remaining half is how they talk to each other before they reconcile. So yeah, Ubuyashiki next season. Why should they?
Tak ingat. But mungkin tidak, who knows. Stay tuned.
Tak adalah kalau kita ikut arc yang betul-betul lepas ni, dia tak ada cerita the back story, tapi dia akan ada mungkin one Hashira or two atau one sword master yang akan cakap Ubuyashiki ni macam mana. The arc after that baru ada. The arc yang training arc tu. So aku itu baru akan so basically Ubuyashiki tu is basically the guy whose family formed the demon call to fight Muzan.
Tak nak tahu. Saya tak nak tahu.
Dah ada. Last season dah ada.
Last season dah ada dah. So cerita dia adalah
The Lord.
Yes. Yeah.
Saya nak tahu.
So the cerita is basically the story. This is the culmination of his family punya beratus-ratus tahun punya efforts lah. Demon core after demon core, generation after generation by Nipusan. Season 4 ada kot. Aku rasa ada. Memang dalam manga ada mention tapi kita tak tahu dia orang nak buat macam mana.
Okay,
That story is pretty nice. Oh, selalunya episode kami 3 chapter manga. Tak. Dia tengok juga. I wouldn't say 3 chapter lah. Kalau cerita tu slow, mungkin kalau manga tu laju, then 3 chapter. Kalau manga tu slow, then satu episode 1.5. So kalau 45 minit ni at least 4 isu. Sebab tadi aku belek-belek masa sekolah tengah sembang. Dia macam 93, 94 sampai 95, 96 lebih kurang.
Okay, final question. Final round.
Oh, what chapter you should start at? You should start at 94.
I would suggest jangan terus end. Maybe read where macam contoh lah. The season ends at 98. You start baca at 97 to get the flow of the manga.
Yeah.
And then you transition next to the next arc. From there lah, you be more.
No, you start at 96. Start at 95 or 96.
Aku tak baca manga tapi aku nak syorkan you read the actual Daki and Gyutaro, how they are portrayed.
Yeah. Sebab tu aku cakap 95 or 96. You start at 95 better.
Because I'm pretty sure there's a lot more dialogue there and you can compare dengan expression they were shown in anime lah, the manga and the anime. Mesti it will be rewarding lah because the fight scene dah habis. You nak baca manga pun, you can macam Jamal tunjuk tadi, the anime fight scene is so much better. So like, you can just go straight to the finale of the season.
96 is when they started talking about Daki and Gyotaro. Tapi you start at 95 because 95 ends at around 95 ends at around Daki and Gyotaro start gaduh. Kepala diorang 2 ekor tu start gaduh.
Alright.
Tanjiro jalan-jalan, apa benda bising-bising ni lah, 2 ekor kepala ni ada lagi, badan dah tak ada. Tak meletup lagi. Lepas tu dia duduk kat situ, lepas tu macam, asal lah kau suka marah adik kau ni. Kau diam lah, lepas tu therapy session lah berlaku.
Alright. Soalan terakhir, korang pernah baca manhwa Dice tak? Tahun 2017.
Tak pernah. Dice tu je, cuba tengok.
Aku nak Google check sekejap.
Yalah, Jamal kata racist tak baca manhwa.
Aku memang tak baca tapi aku nak tengok if I've seen the panel. Tak. Sebab aku bila kau pergi kat website ni kan dia akan ada banyak, dia tak bezakan manhwa dengan manga, dia akan letak sebelah-sebelah kalau ada episod baru. So sometimes manhwa the cover art looks exactly like a manga tau. Betul kau buka-buka lah manhwa ke? Damn it.
Macam damn it. My whiteness is showing.
Aduh.
Tengok dia bukan manga, dia manhwa. So dia hua.
Tak ada panelis yang baca unfortunately bro. Alright guys, so dengan itu berakhirlah segmen kita malam ini. Terima kasih kerana menonton. Terima kasih juga kepada para panelis kita, Shaz Kaki Anime, Ariff Kaki Manga dan Jamal Raslan Kaki Drama.
Sanji!
Kaki Drama.
Sanji!
Kaki hitam tu hari ni, kaki hitam.
Nampak kaki hitam hari ni. Sanji di kaki. Macam mana kaki dia kaki kiri dia lagi panjang daripada kaki kanan, aku pun tak tahu.
Itulah kan. So join us tomorrow untuk finale Book of Boba Fett dan join us untuk hari Jumaat nanti di mana kita bakal membedah Moon Knight teaser breakdown. Itu sahaja untuk malam ini. Majulah fandom untuk negara.